Hello everybody! Welcome to my channel. My name is Kayla Cosmos, and I guess we could say I am officially a digital nomad. And with having a US passport, I'm very lucky to be able to travel so many places. In the past year, I've been to Vietnam, Colombia, Dubai, and now I am here in South Korea. Unlike Vietnam or Colombia, we don't really hear about South Korea as a digital nomad destination, so today I wanted to talk a little bit about that because I will be here for about 2.5 months. First in this video, I'm going to talk why I even chose South Korea in the first place. I'm going to talk about how I found inexpensive accommodation, how English friendly it is here, how budget friendly it is, and also is it easy to work from here or is it not? Because as we all know, South Korea has a reputation for all the cafes and good internet, but is it actually true? So let's start off with why South Korea? Because I'm no K-pop or K-drama fan. I mean, while I did love Train to Busan and I also loved Squid Games, that's basically as far as my knowledge of mainstream pop culture in Korea is. It's the scary stuff. Yet Korea has still really done a lot to put itself on the map with exporting so much entertainment and culture, so I myself became curious. And as a digital nomad, sometimes the question is where to next. And as soon as I started thinking about South Korea, all of these pictures of food started popping up in my head and I got really excited and I was like, well, that's the answer. The answer is South Korea. Before I came, so many people were telling me it's going to be pretty expensive, yet I've been able to find some pretty affordable accommodation, which I'm gonna tell you about now. I'm no fancy girl when it comes to accommodation, but I definitely need my own private space for my sanity and ability to work. And so far here in South Korea, I've been able to find accommodations just like that meet my budget of around $600 a month. And usually my travel plans are to travel slow. And this really helps me save money because I like to spend usually about a week in places. And if you're booking on Airbnb, typically you can get a discount if you book for a week or even up to a month. Currently, I'm in Seoul, and while the rooms here are pretty small, they're costing around $150 a week, which isn't too bad. And even though I'm not in the center of Seoul, I'm very near public transportation, making it easy to get around. For me, as I said, I'm a simple person, so I'm happy as long as I have a yoga space, a window, and a desk to work at. Now let's talk about language and how English friendly it is here. I've noticed here in Seoul, at least it is kind of hit or miss. If I'm at a cafe, typically when I'm talking to the cashier, they're very good at being like, oh, do you want hot, cold, here, to go? And I really appreciate that I can communicate that way. But if I go to a local market and I'm maybe talking to an older woman, then the language barrier might be there. And in that case, I'd really love to be able to, say like, oh, I want that. Thank you. Oh, it's delicious. Just to, make that interaction much more wholesome, even if it is just a little bit. And while I'm still trying to practice and learn new words, one thing I have learned is that Korean words are so freaking long. Like, they're so long, which is making it harder for me to remember even very simple phrases like 감사합니다. That took me about a week to be able to say like the way I say it now. Because I'm here for 3 months, it will definitely be worth it to learn even more words, even if it's just to have a smooth interaction with the lady selling tteokbokki on the side of the street. Yet luckily, aside from just using Google or picking up words along the way, one company, italki, is another great way to learn and practice languages from the comfort of your own home or wherever you may go next. And they happen to be the sponsor of today's video. Whoa! I'm excited to be working with italki because italki actually had a huge impact on my life when I was living in Taiwan. In Taiwan, even though I lived there, I was very afraid to speak my limited Mandarin in the real world. I used italki to improve my pronunciation and, more importantly, make small talk and converse with people in Mandarin without the fear of public embarrassment. Italki was a safe place for me to make speaking mistakes and learn from a real Mandarin teacher in the comfort of my own home.
Okay, 잠깐.
Now, what is italki? Well, let me take you to their platform and explain. italki is an online learning language teacher marketplace where you can learn over 150 languages through one-on-one customized lessons with high-quality native speakers. These aren't pre-recorded videos, but real-time live lessons that you can schedule at whatever time is good for you. So you can focus on learning what matters most to you, whether it's being able to handle everyday interactions or perfecting your conversational skills. One of the best parts is teachers set their own rates starting from $5 an hour, so you can learn on whatever your budget is. Since I'm learning Korean and I really just want to understand some basic words that would really just help enrich my daily interactions, I found Maria Kim who could help me out. What is delicious? Because
맛있어요. 맛있어요. 맛있어요.
맛있어요.
Perfect.
Okay, and the next one is delicious. Wait, I want to try to remember. 맛있어요. 맛있어요.
맛있어요.
Because I also am afraid to like
Uh-huh.
sound rude or something. Like when I would speak Mandarin, I would say something and I was like, wow, that was so direct. And I don't realize it's rude. I'm just, I'm saying like what I know to use.
You are putting yo. Yo means polite. So you're already very polite.
Maria was super nice. Like we really connected and like it was great chatting with her. And not only was I actually like learning how to say new things, but she taught me like about Korea as well. So now, I feel a little bit more connected with the culture as well. You can begin your language learning journey by checking the link in the description below. And of course, we have a special offer just for my viewers. Buy $10 and get $5 for free for your first lesson by using my exclusive promo code. But there's only 50 $5 bonuses available, so make sure you snag the opportunity now. The link is in the description or check my pinned comment. Overall, I thought it was going to be easier to learn Korean than Mandarin, and while I can actually already read some Korean, I find the words are very, very long and difficult to pronounce. But with that said, I just gotta keep practicing, and I know that's gonna really enrich my experience while I'm here in South Korea. So, you know what else is an enriching experience? Saving money. So let's talk about how budget friendly it is. I've already talked about accommodation, but what about when it comes to food, activities, and so on? So primarily, I don't really do too many extracurricular activities. Like I know that there's like a really poppin' club scene and bar scene here, but for me, majority of my money goes towards food. When it comes to food, I'm spending probably between 10 and 20,000 won a day. I really recommend that wherever you stay that you have a kitchen, because there might be some days where you do really just, want to save some money because maybe the next day you want to go out and you want to splurge. So you might be eating like some like microwave meals at home or cooking some eggs or like whatever. So it is convenient to have a kitchen where you're staying. I would say between groceries and eating out, the price is not that vastly different. Like it's a little bit cheaper, I think, to cook at home, but eating out also isn't that expensive either. Some days I just want to eat something very quick and I can go to like CU or 7-Eleven and I can get a full meal for about 5,000 won, which is about $3 to $4. Sometimes I just want like a gimbap, which is nice and healthy, but super delicious, and it only costs about 5,000 won. And if I eat a meal out like at a nice restaurant or whatever, I'm usually spending between 10,000 and 20,000 won, which is actually pretty decent for like a good size meal and good quality food. So I think a lot of people expect that Korea is very expensive, but you can actually do it quite cheaply. Now, if you're comparing it to like Vietnam or Philippines cheap, then yes, it's expensive. But a lot of the meals that I'm spending money on, if I were spending this money in the United States would probably be about double the price. Another thing when it comes to budget is transportation. Now, I have yet to take a taxi or an Uber because I'm always near the metro, and I really like to rely on public transportation when I travel because it's usually way, way cheaper than, ordering a car. And every time I've taken public transportation, I think it's cost about 1,000 to 2,000 won, which is mad cheap, and it takes you so far. So I have no complaints about that. There's so many public transportation options and they're all at really great prices. So I'd say in regards to that, unless you're planning on taking a bunch of Ubers, which I don't know, I think there's an equivalent of Uber here. Unless you're planning on, paying to have cars take you around, you should be good for most places that you're trying to get to. If you're relying on public transportation, you'll save a lot of money in comparison to paying to have a driver. And last but not least, let's talk about how work-friendly it is, because South Korea is known for having Wi-Fi everywhere, right? Well, not totally. Like, yes and no. I actually thought that when I come to Korea, I wouldn't even need to get a SIM card because Wi-Fi would just be available everywhere. But apparently, if you don't have a phone number, you might not be able to access some public Wi-Fi. So you need to get a SIM card to get the phone number. I did buy a SIM card. It was about $100 for 3 months. So while I just seem to have gotten really distracted from talking about how to work in South Korea, it's actually a little bit related. So I will say that everywhere I have stayed has great Wi-Fi. And there are a lot of cafes that you can go and sit and work at. And the thing that's really nice is like, if you need to get up to go to the bathroom, you can leave your stuff there. You don't have to worry about somebody stealing it. Like, that's so convenient and that's just so nice because I know there's so many countries where you cannot do that. Everywhere I've stayed, you can probably rely on having good Wi-Fi, but you do want to make sure that there is a desk, because I noticed some places have like no desk or they have a very small desk, and I personally like to have, like a desk that I could sit at for a while and be comfortable. Last, I want to say that some of the cafes I go to, the Wi-Fi might not be so strong. And that is when this comes in handy, because you can hotspot your phone with the data you have from your SIM card to your computer. It's only 3 gigabytes a day, and then after that I think the speed just like reduces a lot, but that saved me the other day when I realized the cafe's Wi-Fi was not very fast, and then I just hotspotted my phone and I was good to go. So as for working, I've definitely been pretty lucky. I've had no issues since I've been here. As I just mentioned, you know, I've had to hotspot my phone at moments, but the hotspotting has also been reliable, and the majority of the time Wi-Fi is reliable. And you can usually find a room that will have a workspace, which is awesome. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that it was informative if you are planning on coming to South Korea. I would say if you are planning to come here and work as a digital nomad, you're definitely gonna be fine. Now, if you are looking for like Southeast Asia cheap, then you're not gonna find that here, but you're definitely finding like much cheaper than like US cost of living here, for sure. Leave a comment below if you have any questions about my experiences, and I'm happy to, you know, share any additional information that I maybe didn't share in this video. And yeah, so thank you guys all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.